know accounts payable inside out? It's time to put your expertise to the test. Welcome to the Accounts Payable Best Practice Showdown, where you'll face real-world accounts payable challenges, choose the answer you think is right, and see how you stack up against the pros. Here's how it works. We'll present a common but tricky accounts payable scenario with several possible solutions. You'll make your pick and an industry expert will reveal their choice. And finally, we'll uncover the best practice answer. Along the way, you'll gain valuable insights into the why behind the right approach, helping you sharpen your accounts payable instincts and avoid costly mistakes. And the expert we have is no ordinary expert. Today we've got Jamie Radford with us, the CEO of the Accounts Payable Association, a global organization headquartered in the UK. So are you ready to show off your skill, learn from the experts, and discover whether you truly have what it takes to master the art of accounts payable? And if you don't, by the way, we've got a lot of other videos to help you. Let the showdown begin. I want you to look at these email addresses, and we're talking about a fictional person. I call him Anthony Long last name, and who I'm saying is president of American Airlines. Now, I want you to look at those email addresses and type in 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D. See if you can determine which one you think is the right answer. The point that I want to make here is that even though, we're talking about fraud, obviously that's why I'm showing you this, and this is much bigger font, we're seeing some people get it wrong. In fact, a number of people have gotten it wrong, okay, and I'm going to go to the next slide. This is why I didn't give it to you ahead of the time, okay? So it just goes to show you how easy it is to miss a wrong email address. And in this one, they just changed the A to an O in American Airlines. Jamie, did you get it right?
Of course, I'm hardly going to say I got it wrong. But your point's really valid, actually, Mary, that and people having emails for approval of payments or approval of invoices. The most important part is to check every element of email addresses.
You suspect an employee has been systematically cheating on their expense reports. What do you do? And when I say what do you do, I mean what's the best practice, not what you feel like doing. So A, confront the employee, B, research, C, ignore the matter, or D, contact the police. And Jamie, what would you do?
Well, option B for me, I'd research the matter further and then get others involved. Clearly I wouldn't look to ignore it. So what's the answer, Mary?
The answer is B, that's correct. Even though you might be tempted to confront the employee, I would urge caution with doing that. And the reason for that is if you're wrong and you accuse somebody of doing something that was unfounded, it's very hard to put that genie in the bottle. And yeah, I would not ignore the expense report, the issue, even though I'm tempted to, because you know what, the manager was supposed to review the expense report, but we all know they don't. Do you have that issue, by the way, Jamie?
Absolutely. So yeah, the way it works in the UK predominantly is that people approve expense reports based on budget, not necessarily on line item. Mm-hmm. So it's done by exception, I suppose. But yeah, people should spend a little bit more time reviewing each expense line rather than just the overriding expense against the budget.
You discover that one of your processes has been paying his or her favorite vendor early. What do you do? A, fire the vendor, B, discuss the issue, C, ignore it, or D, immediately take the processor off the vendor, off that account.
Personally, I would go for option D, but I suppose there's more than one answer, but I would go for option D, taking the processor for that vendor for the time being.
Yeah, I would do a combination of B and D.
Right, okay.
I think also this is, with automation, this problem will go away, but I know at least in the States, it's not a huge problem, but it does happen. And I will have to tell you that I used to write a newsletter for credit and collection professionals, and I used to tell one of the pieces of advice was to find somebody friendly in AP and then always go to that person when you had a problem. So I think that's what people on the other side. Hopefully, this is one of those ones where there's only one right answer. You get an email from your CEO, your CFO, instructing you to wire $1 million or £1 million immediately, and you get the wire instructions. What do you do? A few people, Jamie, are saying they ignore the request. And I know I had one person who I'm friendly with, an AP manager, and she says, I always ignore these requests because our CEO never talks to me. He would never send this to me.
Yeah, look, again, I suppose the most cautious way is to ignore it, but it just might be at that one occasion when they do want to talk to you. I mean, the reality is, yes, I agree. It could be, B is definitely the right answer. Contact whoever's sent this to you for verification. But D, actually, you know what? Sorry, if you ignore it, then at least you're not going to commit, sort of send a fraudulent payment over.
Right.
But if you're trying to build a relationship with the CEO, CFO, and they are emailing you to try and action something, probably worth an email or a call, because in their eyes, you're doing the right thing. You're showing some corporate governance, and you're reaching out and trying to build a relationship. So it's good.
Right. And I think it also, especially in this day and age, shines some light on the person who's asking for the verification or the confirmation that they are, they know what the best practices are, and they're trying to protect the company's assets.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, actually. I know it probably won't be in the slide deck, Mary, but whether people then report these type of instances to their IT functions so they can then monitor, sort of spam and phishing type emails. I don't know if that happens.
Yeah.
I've worked for organizations that do that. So when they get them, they do the verification piece, and then they pass those on to an IT personal function so they can then go and have a look at that.
Another email situation. Say which one you...
For me, it'd be neither, Mary. It'd be option C, but I don't know what everybody else is saying.
This is really difficult. And, when I saw this, it scared me when I first saw this example. If you look at the M in American Airlines, and then you look at the second one, it's RN, okay? But when, again, it's small font close together, it's really difficult to see. Did you catch it? Did you get it, Jamie?
I did, even though I said neither, but as I say, it's just, the problem is, as you've already pointed out, Mary, is the slightest little change in an email address, as you've highlighted on this slide, can make all the difference. So that's why you've got to look at every particular character, numeric character, whatever it be, look at it in pure detail to try and capture some of these. If
you look, closely, when it's pointed out, you see it, but if it's not pointed out, you don't. There is an opening in your department that would mean a promotion for you. You are qualified for it. What do you do? So I have to tell you, in the beginning of my career, I was very timid, and I would have done A, thinking that they should have recognized that I deserve it, and you know how well that would have turned out for me. And then I would have been furious when I didn't get it. All right.
Well, I hope, Mary, people are putting C and D, because that's exactly what you need to do. You're all AP professionals. This is exactly your world. There you go, C or D.
So now, Jamie, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Which would you do, C or D?
I would C, personally.
Yep.
I mean, the reality is, in life, if you've done a good job, you've been recognised as doing a good job. There's in the UK we call it no shrinking violets. So go and ask for that promotion. Okay, you could ask for the position, pointing out the reasons why you deserve it. That's just opening up negotiations. Personally, go ask for it. Be positive, be proactive. You deserve it. Go get it. That's what I would do. Option C.
I think that Jamie is right, and that's the right answer. But I probably would have gone in with D, with a long list of reasons why I deserve it. And I think that's largely a difference between men and women, okay? But he is right. You just ask for it, especially if you're qualified, and you should get it. You discover that one of your vendors routinely sends a second invoice with a different invoice number 2 days after the first one, even though your terms are net 30. What do you do?
Well, I'm going to go for option A on this one, Mary.
So I will tell you that, just to give you, so that hopefully you gain a little bit of insight on this issue, I was doing a talk yesterday with a credit organization, and what he shared is that there are some cash flow consultants
out there now who are promoting to controllers and CFOs that a way to enhance cash flow is to send a second invoice 5 days before the invoice is due, or to send 2 and 3 copies of invoices. So I don't see this issue going away. Yeah. Is it a big issue over there, these duplicate invoices? Big issue in the UK?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, so in the UK, we've got software providers that can give you, software to help you with duplicate payments and duplicate invoices. We have organisations that do audit recovery, so they go in and check this. But ultimately, it comes down to a good, clear set of processes, have them documented, train the staff, and communicate with your staff. They're the key things you do before you do the after control processes, if you like. So gathering the documentation, the documentation, it just goes through your purchasing. That's definitely the right answer. Only on the basis you need to communicate with the different functions as well.
You discover that your boss has been defrauding the company. What do you do with irrefutable evidence that your boss has been defrauding the company? Okay, so while my temptation would be A, I know that that's not the right answer. Somebody wrote just a joke. They would do D, find another job before all hell breaks loose. But the right answer is B or C. Of course, you can only do B if your company has one. So you agree?
I think C is quite difficult though, I suppose, because if you'll go to your boss's boss, that's quite a challenging thing because obviously as AP people, you don't know where you stand with that, even though you might have their confidence. So it is a very good option, but a lot of the times you will have some sort of whistleblower policy or a hotline where you can then put something through anonymously. So I think B in the first instance, C if you're then confident of who you're going to and there's no sort of it won't come back on yourself ultimately.
Right. Somebody else noted, and I think it's a good comment, even though we're joking around, update your resume.
Yeah, you never know.
You discover that one of your vendors routinely sends its invoices to several people within the organization. Some forward it, some don't. What do you do? A, nothing. Your staff is good at weeding out duplicate. B, tell all staff outside AP just to delete any email with an invoice. C, call or send a special email to the vendor. And D, pay all vendors who send multiple copies 15 days late.
Well, I'm going to go for option C on this one, Mary. But
okay.
I think you've actually just got a picture of my office, so I'm just out of that picture on the screen.
I'm going to plead the fifth, as we say over here. Well, let's just say if it was a toss-up between this and that picture at the beginning, the best practice answer is C in an ideal world.
We've only scratched the surface of invoice issues that are easy to fix. In this short video, we cover 3 more common problems and their simple solutions. Watch it right now. Just click on the link on your screen or in the description. Good luck.